Hello, everyone. Today we will be presenting on Resorts World Las Vegas. This presentation and the research is conducted by George Castaneda, Rachel Garner, Rachel Griffin, Irina Roshan, and Brittany Young.
Busy man, welcome to our recommendation list for the Resorts World Las Vegas Casino and Entertainment Resort. Now, this is a giant venture that is being developed by Genting. That will be one of the classiest and one of the largest undertakings and largest resorts that will be available on the Las Vegas Strip. Now, just to describe what they have in mind, per their words, they want to combine traditional and modern architecture, weaving the new luxury hotel experience into the fabric of Las Vegas with Asian-inspired touches, progressive technology, and world-class guest service. Now, like I said,
our list of recommendations for this presentation will include 5 separate categories: core business products and services, diversification, marketing, promotion, and branding. For the luxury spa concept, we wanted to shift focus to an upper upscale to luxury spa complex with world-class facilities and services to provide a unique international spa experience to the guests. In their independent survey, 58% of participants indicated that amenities such as spas were important to their Las Vegas experience. In addition, Las Vegas sees a total of 150,000 spa visits annually with an estimated total yearly revenue of $150 million. The focus strategy should be primarily anchored in differentiation, specifically positioning the spa as a new and unique experience, providing an intercontinental menu of services. Although spas tend not to be particularly profitable in relation to other hotel revenues, they add to the perceived hotel prestige. Customer experience is also a key factor to the industry. Providing world-class customer service aids in customer and guest retention. Specifically within the luxury spa industry, the willingness to spend is high, and even more so in Vegas, where many regard the spa as a treat. This is another reason to use customer service as a way to retain the big spenders. In fact, the average amount paid per person per visit ranges from $213 for upper upscale spas to $495 for luxury spas. In addition, the spa's 27,000 square feet would yield a greater revenue per square foot used in comparison to the spas like Canyon Ranch, where their 134,000 square feet facilities are underutilized, connected by long hallways. The construction costs for luxury spas can range up to $500 per square foot, with an estimated operational cost of 74.7% of revenue.
This arcade will be a 21+ arcade featuring a bar, arcade games, gambling games, and a reward system. The arcade games will be composed of both vintage and modern arcade games, as well as video games and the increasingly popular virtual reality games. Guests will be able to choose from numerous arcade cards, each offering a different game selection and price point. The arcade reward system will be linked to the hotel's reward system. Higher tier hotel rewards members will receive benefits within the arcade, as well as additional hotel benefits such as a discount in dining, a free escape room experience, or an all-inclusive spa experience. Upon analyzing our survey, we discovered that the vast majority of our respondents want to feel entertained when traveling to Vegas. In addition to feeling entertained, 46% of our respondents stated that they were very likely to participate in an adult bar/arcade, while 20% stated that they were slightly likely to participate. We also discovered that our target audience, millennials, prefer skill-based video games and virtual reality over traditional gambling games like money wheels and slot machines. Investing in an arcade with the latest gaming technologies aligns with the hotel's strategic priorities, as it has recently named Konami Gaming Inc. as its exclusive gaming system management partner. Scott Sabella, president of Resorts World, states, Through this partnership with Konami and the implementation of their system, we will have the ability to connect with players in real time to provide the most cutting-edge, personalized gaming experience on the Las Vegas Strip. Now, there are a few arguments to be made on why Resorts World would benefit from an adult arcade. The first point we'd like to make is that all standalone arcades located on the Las Vegas Strip, with 2 exceptions, have outdated gaming technologies, and the 2 arcades who do have slightly newer technologies have no virtual reality gaming components. By incorporating virtual reality and other advanced gaming technologies into its arcade, Resorts World will not only limit the amount of rivalry it faces, but also decrease the threat of substitutes. Implementing this advanced gaming technology will also further the hotel's mission to bring a wave of leading-edge technology to its guests. This recommendation also has potential to greatly enhance the hotel's profitability, especially if the hotel focuses on the VR aspect of the arcade. Research shows that 79% of people who use virtual reality will seek to use it again. Thus, this recommendation will not only expand the consumer base, but also increase the number of repeat customers. While it is difficult to gauge the exact revenue potential, given the popularity of other arcades like Dave & Buster's, who don't even have virtual reality, we would expect the revenue potential of this investment to be somewhere around $12.9 million.
In the face of declining nightclub attendance, we wanted to look at a nightclub concept that combines new musical technology, celebrity DJs, exotic themes that allow guests to experience new and exciting locations around the globe, an international alcohol offering, and world-class service. Within our analysis, we noticed that 57% of our survey responders indicated that they were likely to attend a nightclub on their visit to Vegas. And according to the Nightclub and Bar Media Group, 7 of the top 10 grossing bars and nightclubs in the country are in Las Vegas. In addition to this, club revenues can potentially make up to around 10% of total revenues for the hotel, with some clubs bringing in over $90 million yearly in revenue. Once again, the strategy is differentiation, specifically providing new and unique experiences with themes from around the world to attract more guests. Being a new club with square footage on par with Omnia and Hakkasan will no doubt attract new patrons. However, the strategy is to retain those patrons after their first visit by diversifying club experiences. The industry, specifically in Las Vegas, tends to be very profitable. And that's one of the reasons why customer experience is also a key to success. The willingness to spend within the industry is limited, with a few high spenders and many more patrons with low willingness to spend. Focusing on new experiences may increase the willingness to spend within the millennial group, as they're more likely to spend on experiences, and having a unique club may attract more big spenders. Hakkasan, a club comparable in size, can see up to 7,000 people in one night, and about 7% of Las Vegas visitors went to a club with a cover fee during their stay. However, a slightly more than half of Las Vegas visitors said that they had visited a non-cover fee bar or lounge. This shows that there's a great possibility and potential to draw in new customers by diversifying club experiences and giving people something unusual and something that they're not able to find elsewhere.
Our next recommendation is on a rotational celebrity chef restaurant. To provide an overview for our rotational celebrity chef restaurant, this is a 5-star restaurant opened year-round with a different celebrity chef every quarter that represents different ethnic cuisines from around the world. In a study that was conducted online with 59 participants ages 21 to 40 that had been to Vegas within the last 2 years, 94.6% of those survey respondents said that they traveled to Vegas to be entertained. Another study showed that average food and beverage expenditure equates to about $315 per person per Vegas trip. In that 59 respondent survey, 60% of those respondents indicated interest in dining at a 5-star restaurant in Vegas. And research has shown that the top 3 independent restaurants in Vegas are all high-end and high dining quality restaurants. They all had various types of cuisines as well. Another study reports that the grandeur facade fades after 3 months for chefs that originally started off in one place and traveled to Vegas to try and start up a restaurant or work for a restaurant. This aligns perfectly with our model because our rotational celebrity chef restaurant changes its chefs every 3 months. So before the chefs start to have that fade in grandeur, they will be rotated into a different celebrity chef for the next quarter. The rationale for our restaurant is narrowed in on a focused strategy. This means that we're narrowing down on a variety of ethnic cuisines each quarter, so that way we can deliver something that is in a niche type of market each quarter to our patrons. We also are looking to target those with high cost threshold because this is a 5-star dining experience. The restaurant industry as a whole tends to be very profitable, so it is likely that this restaurant would bring high profits to our overall resort. Also, for the customer experience, we're looking to shift it from a service to an actual experience. Instead of going and dining at a restaurant, they're having a full 5-star experience, from the ambiance to the chef to the cuisine. So everybody has this own individual and unique experience that they're able to attribute to positive emotions and benefits. We also see a willingness to spend among millennials as being very high, especially when it comes to planning trips, and they're looking for a unique dining experience. For profitability, there's 42.52 million Vegas visitors in 2019 with an average spend of about $315 on food and beverage. This means that this entire market size is equated to about $13.41 billion. If we were to acquire around 0.01% of this market, that means that we would be able to see revenue of around $13.4 million for Resorts World Las Vegas. Of course, there are costs that are associated with this restaurant, the biggest one being our celebrity chef. Because they are worth so much and they have such a high brand name, they are going to be quite expensive at about $100 per hour. With the assumption that they're working about 60-hour work weeks, that means that each celebrity chef would cost $72,000 per quarter for a total annual cost of $288,000. There are additional costs such as supplies, staff, electricity, and more, which would all, of course, eat away at our revenue, but still we estimate that our profitability will remain high.
Our next recommendation would be to create an escape room attraction. We'd like to imitate the success of other escape rooms in the area, and the additional benefit is that it targets the same audience that we'd like to attract to our hotel. In creating an escape room attraction, we also believe it's important to know our consumer. Based on our own survey, we had 2 main takeaways: that people wanted to be entertained and that when on vacation had a higher willingness to spend. We also were able to make a few conclusions based off of the Las Vegas Visitor Profile Study. One was that there is a percentage of people who go to visit with family and friends. And we think this is important because an escape room is a group activity that is done with others. We also noticed that there is a percentage of respondents that didn't see a show, even though it's a popular activity. This is another audience that we think could potentially be interested in activity that is a shorter amount of time and is not a show-based activity. We were also able to confirm that the primary consumer age was 21 to 39, which not only matches with the age range who participate in escape rooms, but also matches our demographic for the hotel. A study done by Eventbrite said that 78% of millennials would rather spend money on an experience than buying an item. Everything about an escape room is an experience. You don't necessarily get to take anything with you, but it's about living in the moment and participating with others. And based off a Harvard Business Review, Welcome to the Experience Economy, they talked about 5 principles to creating an experience, and these principles match with the different activities that are done in an escape room. Escape rooms are themed. When you are able to solve an escape room, it is a positive emotion. There's an adrenaline that comes with it. There are ways to eliminate negative cues by helping people be able to solve the escape room and then enhancing the positive cues. When you're in an escape room, you use your sight, your smell, you feel things, and it's truly a full body experience. And to also mix it in with some of our other recommendations, there would be a photo opportunity to celebrate solving the escape room. We believe that an escape room is a pretty feasible idea as the cost of development is only $15,000 to $40,000 depending on what type of experience you provide. And if we run a what if scenario, the potential profit per year is $3,744,000 pending that all conditions are met. The true success is in broad differentiation by being the only hotel to have an escape room inside the hotel. Most escape rooms are located outside in shopping centers. This decreases our consumers' buying power, and thus we can charge an inflated price because the pressure to buy now and the convenience of having the escape room in the hotel will be more enticing to customers. And while we would be entering the market under an imitative strategy because we know that an escape room can be successful, because we're a hotel and we do have capital and resources, we wouldn't face the challenges other businesses would face by trying to enter the market.
Our next recommendation is a flower or cannabis lounge. This lounge perfectly aligns with the Sin City nature of Las Vegas and would be composed of 3 floors and consist of 4 primary amenities. These amenities would include dining options, both cannabis-related and non-cannabis-related, the sale of cannabis-related merchandise, a dab bar, and interesting design elements. The first floor would be the dining option, the second floor the merchandise/shop component, and the third floor the rooftop lounge. In order to generate additional interest in the lounge and make it stand out, the restaurant will also feature celebrity chefs on a quarterly basis to cook specialized cannabis-infused dishes. Upon analyzing our survey, we discovered that 28% of our respondents want to feel relaxed when they travel to Vegas. This finding aligns well with recent studies which show that 55% of adults in the U.S. use marijuana to relax, while 40% of adults in the U.S. use marijuana to either relieve stress or enjoy social experiences. Another important point is that the estimated value of cannabis sales in Nevada has grown significantly over the years. In 2016, the estimated cannabis sales value was $53 million. In 2019, this value increased to $433 million. And in 2025, the overall sales value of cannabis in Nevada is expected to increase to $814 million. The sales value isn't the only thing that has changed in regard to cannabis. Public opinion towards cannabis is changing as well. A recent study found that 64% of people believe that cannabis should be legalized and taxed like other products. Now, there are a few arguments to be made on why Resorts World would benefit from a cannabis lounge. While California has quickly jumped on the cannabis lounge trend, Vegas has only one cannabis lounge. To capitalize on this opportunity, Resorts World should position the lounge to develop a broad differentiation strategy. By focusing on innovation and customer service within its lounge, Resorts World could set its lounge apart from other cannabis lounges and be at the forefront of the cannabis consumption trend. By focusing on providing its customers with a unique experience, Resorts World will more easily attract millennials and capitalize on their desire to have a fun, interesting, and memorable experience in Vegas. The cannabis industry is one of the fastest growing industries with a huge amount of profit potential. Interest in cannabis has been growing like a weed, and as a result, so has its customer base. In order to obtain the most accurate profitability estimates for Resorts World Cannabis Lounge, we look to the revenues and costs of current dispensaries as well as the reviews of current cannabis lounges. Despite the regulations that dispensaries have faced, nearly 90% of operating dispensaries have reported that they are profitable, with many receiving annual revenues of over $1 million and with costs ranging between $250,000 to $750,000. Now, while the cannabis lounge may not initially be the most profitable recommendation, it has the potential to bring in large future revenues due to a growing demand for cannabis, evolving consumer trends, and an overall shift in the American perception of recreational marijuana use.
So for our next recommendation, we have the World Craft Brewery and Sports Restaurant and Bar Sportsbook. Now, what we aim to do here is supplement the already existing 14,000 square foot entertainment zone, which already contains a race and sports book. This will be an intrapreneurial venture, which will feature craft beers from all around the world, an integrated sports and racing book with customized tables, and also, most importantly, premium customer service. The primary purpose is to integrate a variety of world-class craft brews from all around the world with a sports-centric crowd Also with a crowd that enjoys luxury and service with a high emphasis on customized bedding and dining. Now, through the analysis, there's a few key points. One is local Yelp reviews found 11 breweries within a 10-mile radius, but none that offer tastings from around the world. Now, although there are a few breweries in the area that offer sports viewing, there are none that are dedicated to majority sports-themed events or offer any type of integrating sports betting. Now, of the breweries that offer large viewing platforms for events, there are none that have integrated their sports or racing book into their brewery or restaurant. Of the 232 Yelp reviews examined, about 34 mentioned a dissatisfaction with the variety of beers offered, and this is where we think we can really key in and offer and differentiate ourselves from other breweries around the strip. We will have brews from all around the world, and they'll be world-class, provided with premium customer service and customization. Now, the closest competitor, Tag Sports Bar, which is offered at the Link Hotel, also offers a variety of craft beers and sports themed platforms. Although it's not world themed, that they don't offer beers from around the world, although that might not be much of an issue, it is not within walking distance. So although it might be a competitor, it's not really relevant to our venture. Now, a few studies. A study conducted with a sample of 246 psych students found that urgency is the impulsivity-related construct that best predicts alcohol drinking, gambling, and binge eating behavior. This is a little conniving, maybe a little evil, but we're trying to increase revenue, and that is mainly our goal, to combine drinking, gambling, and eating behavior all together. We want them to stay here as long as possible. And in order to do that, one of the first points is premium customer service with great food, world-class beers, and an integrated, easy, user-friendly gambling interface that allows you to place bets onto sports. Now, as far
Our next recommendation is on picture locations. Picture setups will be located throughout the resort so that visitors can take pictures to use for social media. These locations will be located both inside some of the attractions that we have in the resort, also in more accessible areas as well. Each location will be reflective of the different continents the resort incorporates into its theme, as well as the attractions that the picture locations are surrounded by. In a survey conducted online with 59 participants that had traveled to Vegas within the past 2 years, ages 21 to 40, said that 15% of survey respondents expressed interest in a selfie museum. We do recognize that a selfie museum is different than picture locations, whereas these picture locations would be sporadic throughout the resort. A selfie museum is more condensed and you typically have to pay to get in. So we anticipate a high level of participation than what the survey actually expressed. This also demonstrates that there is a market for people that are looking for Instagrammable photos. In a different survey, the leading reason to visit Vegas was for vacation and pleasure. This was about 45% of a 3,600 respondent survey. When people are going to Vegas, they want to be pleasured, they want to seek vacation, and typically that correlates with taking pictures to post on their social media accounts. The rationale behind our picture locations is threefold. The first being travel inspiration. In a survey, 90% of millennials decided on where to travel based off of social media posts. This means that the destination that they ultimately chose for their vacation spot was highly influenced by what they saw on social media. From a content creation perspective, people that are posting on social media want to take great photos to either be able to inspire people to travel to these locations or even just to share with friends and family where they've been. Social media has a growing trend in popularity. Instagram has over 500 million monthly users, and a lot of those users are using geotagging to increase the level of interaction and engagement with their posts. So essentially, by tagging where the location was that they took a picture, users can now click on that location and see other related pictures from that same geotag. This leads to an innovative marketing strategy where visitors are marketing the hotel for us, and it's increasing the visitor engagement with our company and with our brand. This directly relates to a profitability, not necessarily in the short term, but definitely in the long term. Because visitors are taking pictures within our locations and they're taking pictures of the resorts by these picture locations, they're ending up posting it online and having free online marketing for the company. So we're not having to spend a ton of money on online marketing because users are doing it for us. To drive this point even further, there was a case study where Trolltunga, Norway was a natural organic spot that people could take pictures, and it was great for selfies. In 2009, there were about 500 visitors to that spot, which wasn't very significant. But once social media started to pick up and pictures of this selfie location were being posted online, that visitation increased to 40,000 people by 2014, which is an 8,000% of increase. This shows that destination locations through social media have a high impact on people's willingness to travel to those locations. This also incorporates the fear of missing out. Once people see these great posts on social media, they then want to start planning their next trip so that way they can take those pictures as well. We're also increasing the foot traffic within our resort because people will be traveling to this resort to take pictures for certain social media posts. And even if they're not staying in the resort, they will be most likely spending money within the resort, especially because certain photo locations that we will have are within paid attractions. So if they want to be able to get to all of our photo locations and say that they've done it all, they will have to spend some sort of money.
So this recommendation will be a Resort World Rewards program. Now, obviously, they will already have a rewards program implemented. When they launch, they would be kind of dense if they didn't do so. But mine aims to build on top of the technological edge that they are trying to advertise and that they're boasting clearly with giant LED screens, a 100,000 square foot LED screen outside of the resort. They're really trying to push this. So mine is more in line with this so that we can target a more modern, maybe even younger demographic that maybe otherwise wouldn't gamble if they weren't so intrigued with the technological edge. And obviously the traditional crowd as well. The first component would be the rewards mobile app. Now, the edge now with this rewards mobile app is a couple of things. One, I would like to utilize blockchain technology. That is the technology that Bitcoin is built off of to implement a crypto chip as a replacement for traditional chips. Now, this would be optional because many gamblers like to feel, including myself, the actual feeling of chips in their hand. But considering a post-COVID world, perhaps, where circulated chips might not be as desirable, you would have the option of having crypto chips. Blockchain technology would be absolutely fantastic to implement such an ideal just because it is a trustless accounting system that requires really nobody to keep track of, and as such the cost would be really low. The second part would be an accelerated privileges and rewards program. Now, this would also consist of traditional benefits, but I would like to have additional benefits to customers, not based on the amount of money they spend, but the frequency of spending. Obviously, we want to take care of the high rollers, but I also want to take care of those that maybe keep on spending on a more frequent basis. And an analytics program within the rewards app and the blockchain could definitely accomplish this. Now, the third thing would be a cross-platforming of services, which would include a partnership with airlines to provide higher value packages to customers. That would include a lowered airfare in order to pull customers into the resort. One thing that I noticed is that many programs will give you discounted rooms as a reward for your stay and your spending and your gambling habits. However, none really offer you a package with an airline ticket, at least maybe a lowered airfare or some sort of transportation cost to actually get you there. It could be as simple as a voucher for gas as well. So overview, it would be a rewards mobile app with blockchain technology, accelerated privileges and rewards that reward not only amount of spending, but frequency of spending, but also a cross-platforming of services, which would include perhaps a strategic alliance with airlines to provide higher value packages to customers. So just a few key points of analysis when it comes to Resort World's program. 74% of all Las Vegas visitors gamble, which is increasing. Of those, 12%, they gamble 5 hours or more. This is more in line with the Pareto distribution or the 80-20 rule, where a minority of clients or customers do the most of gambling. And then the next key point is that 67% gamble 2 hours or more. And this is around the average amount, which is 2.2 hours, which is shown to increase the past 2 years. And this is a justification because it's showing that more and more people are willing to not only gamble more, but for longer. And I would really like to key in on this trend. If they feel more invited, if we implement more digitization and more mainstream services like a rewards app or an analytic tracker that actually tracks not only the amount you spend, but the frequency of which you spend, they will be incentivized to stay in the seats and spend more on three-card poker and spend more on roulette because they're going to be maximizing their points in a very digitized, seamless, mainstreamed way. And this would also key in on a younger demographic as well, which is all, and this goes into our other recommendation of the adult arcade. We want to seamlessly start blending gaming, digitization, and gambling all in one. And this will facilitate a lot of cross-play as well. And then the last point is that average number of casinos gamble is 1.9, which is down the past 2 years. Now, this makes sense because rewards programs like M Life and Caesar Rewards, they do incentivize you to stay in one property. Now, one thing that they're doing, like Caesar Rewards or M Life, is that they do have it across multiple properties. And this will go into one thing that I would like to do differently with Resort World, which is exclusivity. But before that, the rationale first is differentiation. We will be offering rewards that others will not be offering. First, obviously, the crypto chips is a little bit niche, but it plays into the younger demographic that we want to invite into the casino. Now, as far as profitability, the dependency on this recommendation relies on intangible resources that will be very important. If implemented, have the potential to be exclusive to Resort World, at least for the time being. Forming a strategic alliance would require social capital and networks with major airliners or their secondary market ticket brokers in order to incorporate some sort of airfare offers with our reward package. As of now, there is no other resort casino in Las Vegas that incorporates airfare tickets into the reward packages. So the non-substitutability and imitability would be low. And this would increase its rarity and value as a procurement, which is the accumulation of relationships among ticket brokers or airlines would be difficult to recreate quickly. Now, as far as a general numbers approach, according to the Bond Brand Loyalty Report, 80% of surveyed customers see loyalty programs make them more likely to do business with a certain brand.
Our last recommendation is to redefine the hotel theme. With a name such as Resort World, we believe that the new theme should be world-class. It should embody high luxury from every country around the world. The focus would be on a clean design and the different high technology aspects that are already being built into the hotel. Some of the reasons to why we don't think that Resort World should have an Asian theme is because it has been done before. The Lucky Dragon Hotel aimed to provide an authentic Asian experience, but they didn't do very well. They opened in 2016 and were completely closed and sold by 2018. Some of the problems they incurred was that they had extremely low foot traffic. Many of the Yelp reviews talked about how empty the hotel was. Some guests even mentioned that not only was it hard to find other guests, but it was also hard to find workers. The Lucky Dragon had mentioned that they wanted to attract an overseas Asian market, but honestly didn't have the infrastructure to be able to accommodate those type of guests. And if the Lucky Dragon was looking to attract the Asian American market, It is an extremely small percentage of the total population to target that, based off of the statistics, don't travel to Vegas often. Our team believes that world class is the way to go. When we looked at a quote from a senior MGM official, 3 things stood out: luxury, good food, and a gambling experience that makes them feel comfortable. Specifically, we focused on the word luxury, and we know that Resort World Las Vegas could compete in this pool of hotels. The Cosmopolitan was built for $4.18 billion and used to hold the title as the most expensive hotel build on the Las Vegas Strip. But Resorts World Las Vegas is going to steal that spot because their build is currently sitting at $4.3 billion. They have invested into this hotel, and the luxurious amenities will show for it. We want to make sure that we are in the right strategic group. We don't, as Resort World, want to be a themed hotel. We want to compete for the top travel destination against other high luxury hotels. And to be in this strategic group means a lot of potential profit. Wynn is the top grossing resort in Las Vegas. Their revenue is $1.69 billion and their EBITDA is $532.9 million. They don't accredit this to being the largest hotel, but they accredit it to creating a high luxury experience that draws in consumers that spend a higher average for entertainment. It's not because we want more people to come to Resort World. Well, that is always a great thing, but we want to attract a certain type of consumer that is willing to spend and enjoy their time in Vegas. Because not only will this help our hotel, but it will help strengthen all of our other recommendations that we believe Resort World would benefit from.
Hey, Busy, thanks for an amazing BH experience, and also thank you for the best class I've ever taken. I'm really gonna miss you when I graduate, and I hope we can have that graduation celebration at some point.
Hey, Busy, it's Rachel number 2, Garner, all of the shorter curly hair, the transfer one. I honestly have had like such a great time with you and getting to know you, especially in such a short amount of time. This class has been amazing, and I really appreciate your drive to help us become better business professionals. So thank you for your time and your energy and your enthusiasm and just making it wonderful.
Hey, Busy, it's Rachel number 1. Honestly, just to echo what everybody else has already said, thank you so much for everything that you put into not only just this management class, but business honors as a whole. I remember the transition going from one director to the next, and you significantly increased the people that are interested in business honors, the energy, the good vibes, everything like that. And I had such a great time with you in Study Abroad. I think we really got to connect a lot better then. So harashimase, and thank you so much for everything that you do. I'm really looking forward to our time after graduation when we can actually party it up. And I just want to thank you so much for the energy that you bring to all of our classes.
Busy man, nasty.
I almost forgot.
I just want to say thank you so much for this class. And I know that things didn't really go the way we planned out, but I have to appreciate, and everybody appreciates the effort you put in, not only to the on-site class, but the transition to online classes. Your effort and appreciation for your students and commitment really, really does show. And one thing that I'm going to take away from you is that you have permanently changed my terminology of nasty and good times for the rest of my life. So thank you very much, and God bless you.
Woo. All right, hi, Busy. Thank you so much for an amazing semester. You just provided us with a really great experience. I love the energy that you bring to every class. I've definitely have not had any professor like you before. You're definitely one of a kind. I'm so glad that you reached out to me back in 2018 and that I was able to connect with all these amazing individuals.
And with that, party time!
Party time!
Oh yeah, the rhythm of the night. This is the rhythm